Hi, I'm Steve Fox and welcome back to Motorshed. In this video I'm going to talk to you about planning a trip to the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So I'm going to talk you through getting down there, accommodation, getting tickets, and just generally how to make the most out of the event. If you've ever thought about going to the Goodwood Festival of Speed, stop thinking and start doing. And forget the idea of going one day, because it won't be a one-time occurrence. Once you go, you will get hooked and you will go year after year. It will become an annual pilgrimage. But experience has taught me that there are many things to be aware of in order to get the most out of the event. This video will take you through them so that you can get the best start. Although fairly long, it's full of really important information that you wouldn't otherwise know, so please stick with it. I'm sure it'll be worth it. So let's get started. So, when is it, Steve? I don't know. In fact, nobody knows. You can look at past events to see which weekend it falls on. Alright, okay, so it could be one of 4 or 5 weekends. Well, it's sure to be June or July, usually at the end of June or first or second weekend in July. So it's been a 4-day event for some time now, Thursday to Sunday, with the Moving Motor Show usually on the Thursday. The dates are usually announced in the autumn after the F1 calendar's been announced. The reason they do this is due to the heavy F1 presence at the Festival of Speed. The event has to be on a weekend where there's no race meetings to enable the teams to attend this awesome event. So you'll find a lot of the top F1 drivers from today and the past will be at the festival, usually taking something tasty up the hill climb. So how much does it cost? Well, that depends on you really and what you want to do. The price, as you can see, it's around £70 per day, a little cheaper on the weekdays. So young kids go for free and young adults and teenagers get in for half price. That's pretty good. What's clear to see though is that the price for the weekend, all 4 days, is the best value. So why would you possibly need 4 days though? I'll get to that a little later. There is hospitality available. Check their website for more details on that closer to the time or when tickets are announced. There's all sorts you can do there, but bear in mind it is fairly expensive. When can I get tickets, I hear you say? Again, it's not a guarantee, but it's usually around the end of October. The best way to go about getting notified of when tickets go on sale is to log onto their website, and there's a button that you can press which will allow you to be notified of when tickets become available. They don't tend to sell out really quickly, but they do sell out, especially for some of the days. So don't just leave it until the last minute to get tickets, because you may be disappointed. It's becoming a lot more popular as well, the event, so just bear that in mind. So travel. Do you even know where Goodwood is? I didn't until I first went, but it's way down south. The closest town being Chichester. There are some nearby resorts on the coast like Bognor Regis. For me, this is where most of the expense comes from in going to Goodwood. It's nearly a 5-hour drive for me, so not realistic to travel to each day. So I have to stay in a hotel. So this is a sticking point for many. So many will have gone through the painful process of finding out that there are either no rooms available close by or at a really expensive price. Funnily enough, as soon as the Goodwood dates are announced, many local hotels do increase their prices. Supply and demand, I guess. If you're on a budget and £50 to £100 per night is more your sort of thing, then there are a couple of good options. So you can stay in a hotel in a nearby town, somewhere like Southampton or Portsmouth. They're 45 minutes to an hour away. That's before you hit the Goodwood traffic, but we'll come to that later. They're a good option, but you will still need to travel a distance in order to get to the event. So is there a better option, Steve? Yes, there is in fact. You could camp, although there's no camping at Goodwood. There are sites nearby. If you don't mind sleeping on the floor in a field, freezing your tits off at night and boiling in a bag in the morning, then that is a good solution. Otherwise, a caravan is a good idea. If you're looking on the more budget end, a great place to stay is a caravan park. So the benefit here is you can be 20 minutes outside of Goodwood, and it's a lot cheaper. So you're talking, if there's a few of you staying in one caravan, you're looking at around about £50 a night each, if that. So definitely an option if you don't want to get up really early and sit in the queues coming from the north side. Caravans vary in size. If you're staying with a few mates, it can be really a real good solution, working out about £25 a night per person. So you can stay for the whole weekend for £100. It's not bad really, is it? So that takes me on to traffic then. Traffic can be a nightmare, I won't lie. Like any big motoring event, with lots of people all going to the same place, all driving, the roads aren't really meant for it, and it can get a bit clogged up. So don't rely on your satellite navigation once you're close to the event, because there are many roads which are closed. So Google Maps, for example, might take you somewhere which is quicker, although there will be a bloke in the middle of the road which will turn you around. So you end up doubling back, which adds even more onto your journey time, and that can be quite frustrating. So you just kind of have to sit in the traffic like everybody else and wait to get into the car parks. So you don't have to wait too long, but if you set off a little earlier, it certainly helps you. So you can minimise this. If you aim to get in around about 7 AM, 7:30, you'll find your queue a lot less than if you try to get in for 8:30, 9 o'clock. There really is a huge difference in the volumes of traffic between those two times, so earlier the better. Another advantage of staying somewhere local, so you can at least get up at half reasonable hour before you go travelling. The car parks, there are many of them. All of them signposted, usually colour coded, I think, and you don't always get to choose which one you go to. You simply follow in the traffic and they fill one up and then open another, etc, etc. So it doesn't matter too much about which one you're in. If you're quite far away from the entrance, there are tractors there with huge trailers carrying you all in to closer to the entrance. So they come round every couple of minutes as well. This year we didn't even have to wait, we're straight on, both going in and coming out. They really are good, the tractor services there. Benefit of being a bit further away, car park wise as well, is it's a lot easier to get out. A lot more cars will be queuing to get out on the closer car parks than the ones further away. If you happen to own a supercar, you can park in a special supercar car park, which is very, very, very close to all the action. That costs you £60 a day to park there. You have to have a certain car though. There's a list published on their website to let you know if you qualify. But typically, any Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, McLaren, like anything like that, you're in. BMW M cars, I believe, are acceptable, things like that. But you're not going to get in your Honda Civic Type R, I'm sorry. So weather is an important consideration. All I can say is take precautions. It's the Great British Summer after all. So like Forrest Gump said, you never know what you're going to get. So be prepared for any event. Check the weather forecast a few days before and prepare accordingly. If it rains, it can be very muddy at Goodwood. They do lay down metal footways, but they can only go so far, so you will get muddy. It can be slippy, as I once found out, and yeah, so wellies if it's wet. If it's dry, it's a beautiful weekend like we had this year at Goodwood, then you will need sun cream. There are very few places that offer shade at Goodwood, so you need to make sure that your tabs are covered, or if you're wearing a hat or something like that, just to keep yourself out of it as much as you can. Take sunglasses. They don't only look cool, but they protect your eyes from the sun, and sometimes more importantly than that, they protect your eyes from dust. So when it's really sunny, it can be quite dry. Dust can be a problem, especially on the run up to the rally stage and the rally stage itself. So just helps, protect your eyes from that dust, especially if you're wearing contact lenses. Get dust in your eyes, not nice. Food. There are plenty of stalls at Goodwood catering for everybody's needs really. So you've got pizza, you've got pulled pork, you've got vegetarian stuff that I'm not even interested in. Whatever you want, you will find there. It's not the cheapest as you'd expect from a venue like this. Typically about £8 for a burger, £10 for fish and chips. Not completely unreasonable, the quality is quite good, but just be prepared to pay a little more than you would usually. So there are restaurants there as well if you want to make things a bit more fancy. Not overly expensive, but more than you would usually like to pay at an event like this. Want to eat out at Lamborghini? No problem. Also a great place to bump into celebrities if you're bothered about that sort of thing. Free to take your own food if you're feeling frugal. There are plenty of places to throw a blanket down and have a picnic. There are benches as well if you can find one free. Drink. Again, plenty of places, and again expensive. Typically you're looking at about £2.50 for a bottle of Coke. That's not typically actually, that was the cheapest I managed to find this year. That happened to be at the McLaren stand actually, or just outside. You can have whatever you want. As well as soft drinks, you've got beers, ciders, champagne, Pimm's, there's a martini, literally all sorts. So something to suit everybody's taste and wallet. A lot of these places have really nice areas to sit down and have a drink as well. I really recommend that. Just sitting down, having a drink, soaking in the atmosphere. It is really very nice. What should you expect from the Goodwood Festival of Speed? A lot. A lot is what you should expect. If you want to find out a bit more about what Goodwood is all about, have a look at some of my other videos. But you're talking brand new models, supercars from the last 100 years or so, pre-war awesomeness. You've got track action with hot laps. You've got drifting, donuts, burnouts, wheelies, everything going on track. More supercar manufacturers than you can shake a stick at. You've got trade stands selling everything related to motoring, and more stuff than you could possibly fit into 4 days. There really is so much stuff to do there. Having been quite a few times, I do have some top tips for anybody wanting to go to the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So, number one, footwear. You will need to wear something comfortable. You are going to walk miles, so it's good to get something on your feet that's going to be comfortable all day. I personally like Skechers Go Walk 4s. You can't beat them. These ones are quite old now, so they're a bit worn down, but it's like walking on clouds. Book your accommodation early. Supply and demand, yo. So if you leave it too late, you will be disappointed. Get in there early. As soon as dates are announced, make a booking. Don't follow your sat-nav when you get close to the event. It won't take you to where you want to go. You will have to turn back. Just follow the cues like everybody else. Make sure you have plenty juice for your cameras and phones. You will flatten the battery in about an hour. There's that much stuff you'll want to video and take photos of. So it's a good idea to take a power bar with you. Keep your phone topped up as you're going on through the day. There are a couple of places where you can charge your phone, but that kind of restricts you to one area for too long, in my opinion. So power bar is a really good idea. When you're walking around, and if you are getting frustrated a bit with the crowds, because let's face it, 200,000 people visit Goodwood over the weekend, and a lot of the time places do get busy. But what you'll tend to find is if you're in a paddock and a car starts up, everybody flocks there. So rather than being a sheep, just go to one of the adjacent tents and see what's about there. You'll get a much better view of cars while everybody's off gawping at an exhaust. Have you got kids? If so, they're going to get tired. They're going to drag you down. What you can do is pick up a trolley free of charge. It's like a big cart with a cage on it that your kid can just hop in, take a nap if they want, and you just pull them around the festival, doing whatever you want while your kid catches a few Zeds. Also good if their feet are getting tired. It's a good idea to get one of these early, because otherwise you can be queuing for quite some time to get hold of one. Get into the event early. Can't stress enough, if you look to get in there for about 9 o'clock, it's not going to happen. You're going to be sat in traffic for a long time. If you aim to get in there for 7, you're going to sit in very little traffic, and you can kind of walk around with the place to yourself for a short period. If you're like me and you hate queuing for anything, then early is definitely best. Same sort of rationale. Don't leave when everybody else leaves. Stay a bit later. Typically people leave between 4 and 5 p.m, but they run events right up to 7. So why sit in your car queuing to get out when you could stay in there, chill out with a beer, have something to eat, and then leave with no traffic. Makes sense. Don't just go for the one day. The very first time I did, and I found that I didn't even scratch the surface of what Goodwood had to offer. Going for 2 days is a much better idea. You get to experience a lot of track action, as well as seeing all these incredible machines up close and personal in their paddocks. As well as that, you've got all the manufacturer stands which you've got events on. Good idea to take your car key as well, because a lot of them have hospitality for owners of their cars. But there is so much to do. In 4 days you can just about cover it all. So 1 day is going to leave you feeling that you've not really experienced it to the full. Download the Goodwood app. Really good little app this. It shows you all of the events for the day, the times of when cars are going on track, which sorts of cars. There's a map to show you where everything is. So if you're looking for food, go to the app. If you're looking for manufacturer stands, go to the app. You can even get directions. It populates where you are and tells you where you need to go to your next point of interest. How awesome is that? So you can download it now. It just has news and stuff on there. But when you get closer to the event, it will bring up everything timetable wise, etc. So that's about it for this video. If you want to see more from Goodwood, I've got plenty more videos. Check out this one if you're interested in seeing more from this year's Goodwood Festival of Speed. I also have plenty other videos from the 2018 Festival of Speed, so check those out too. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions, or if you've got any tips you want to share with people around your Goodwood experiences. Please go ahead. So if you'd be so kind, please subscribe. I do need subscribers. It'd be nice to go over 10. But for now, see ya.